I want to first welcome everyone. My name is Michelle Mango. I am the chair of the governance board of the Tampa Metropolitan Y. And on behalf of the entire governance board, its board, its staff members, I want to welcome you all here today. And I'm sitting here thinking about all of our friends all over the country that seem to be suffering this polar vortex. And here we are sitting in the middle of an absolute perfect day. And I'm so glad we have this perfect weather for the dedication we have today of the Carroll Kennedy Aquatic Center. So very, very nice. It's really exciting that we're going to be breaking ground on this aquatic center, this Carroll Kennedy Aquatic Center. It's just another example of how we're working on the wise promise that we've made to the community to strengthen our foundations here through all different items, including youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. And as part of that, I just want to touch on how much the Kennedys have done, not only for the Y, and we've been so lucky to be a major beneficiary of their generosity and their support, but the entire Tampa Bay community has also been a real beneficiary of what the Kennedys have done for all of us here in Tampa, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later in our program. But first, I would like to just take a moment to extend our thanks to several of our generous donors. And there are many donors that have made today possible, but without the following significant contributions from these donors, we really would not be sitting here today at this groundbreaking. The City of Tampa, the Kennedy family, the L.V. Thompson Family Foundation, the Furman family, the Jenkins family, Joy Culverhouse, Fred Franklin, and the Frank E. Duckwall Foundation. So thank you all so much for your incredible generosity and your commitment to the South Tampa Y. And let's give them all a hand. Next, I'd like to kick off our celebration with the introduction of Pastor Sam Hesdorf with Logos Day Church, which meets right here every Sunday morning inside the South Tampa Y. We've really enjoyed a strong partnership with them throughout the years, and so we would love to have Pastor Hesdorf join us for the invocation this afternoon.
Let's pray together. O God, giver of all good things, today we thank you for this opportunity you've given to us to serve our community. God, we've done so many of the tasks necessary to build this aquatic center. But Lord, before we break ground, we take time to pause. We take time to marvel at your goodness and your mercy. We stop to thank you for bringing us together in your service. We halt our anticipation long enough to glorify you and to commit this ground to you. So God, we ask your blessings on our work, on the friendships we will develop, and on the sermon of love and generosity that this center will have in our community.
Thank you, Pastor Hesdorf. Next, I'd like to welcome Rob Clark, Chair of the South Tampa Advisory Board.
Thank you, Michelle. What a wonderful start to the holiday season as we embark on a new Carroll Kennedy Aquatic Center at the South Tampa Family YMCA. It's been a privilege for me to be a part of the South Tampa YMCA board for several years and in my first term as the board chair. I've seen firsthand how lives are changed for the better through daily impactful work in youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. You'll hear for yourself a little later in the program on some of those initiatives. Thanks to our community partners, we've been serving the South Tampa community through programs for more than 34 years. As we break ground today on the new Carroll Kennedy Aquatic Center, we will continue to strengthen the relationships in the community by providing an opportunity to become a leader in drowning prevention, aquatic therapy, and wellness. By next summer, families will gather here at a water park to spend quality time together while providing their children with confidence-building opportunities around the water. Then there's the warm water therapy pool, which will provide older adults and those recovering from illness, surgery, or disabilities a place to improve or maintain their health. And finally, a lap pool will expand our community outreach opportunities for the entire family. Infants, kids, adults, and seniors will all benefit from swim lessons and a space to swim laps either for fun or for competitions. And now I'd like to take this time to recognize several extraordinary people that are joining us in the crowd today and up on stage. First, let's start with Tampa Mayor Bob Buckhorn, Tampa City Councilman Harry Cohen, the Kennedy family, and the Tampa Y Governance Board members. So if we could have a round of applause for those two present. And next, my fellow South Tampa Y board members, if you could stand in the audience and be recognized as well. Great turnout today. And finally, if you could join me in welcoming all of the volunteers and donors who have joined together to make today possible. Our success is built on collaborations and partnerships. We couldn't serve the great needs of the community without you, so thank you to all our partners that are out here today, especially the City of Tampa, which helped fund the newly expanded parking area, which has alleviated a lot of traffic for all of us, as we know, which was the first phase in our effort to grow with the community. Now, I promise before you would hear for yourself how the Y changes lives, please join me in welcoming Heather Hale and her 12-year-old son Walter to the stage.
Hi. Walter and I moved here in 2011, and after I was job hunting, I was having to search for daycare. Well, when I mentioned that he was autistic, the first thing I heard from everybody was either, "I'm sorry, we can't help you," or $250 a week, which seems a little bit extreme for summer daycare by any stretch of the means, let alone considering he's very high functioning for what he had. So I also knew that he would have to learn to swim. This is Florida, you're surrounded by water, so it was one of those logical progressions. I called my mom, because I go to her for everything, and said, "Do you have any ideas?" And she said, "Call your local Y." So I looked up the number and I spoke with Megan, and she said, "We would love to meet him, bring him in." And 3 years later, my son loves to swim. What's the first thing you do every summer?
Pass the swim test.
He comes home with the little band on his wrist and said, "I passed it." And I have to think, "And what'd you pass?" "The swim test, Mom, I have to be able to swim." So we have gone from barely being able to get along with his peers in school to hanging around with normal kids, with regular friendships, just like I would expect any child to be able to have, and a child who was not afraid to head out into the water at Daytona Beach. So it is a huge progression. He used to climb on my head when he was 2.
Thank you, Heather and Walter. Let's have another round of applause for that story. Fantastic. As you can see, the Y is truly committed to drowning prevention and youth development in our community. Not only is the Y nurturing Walter's full potential by teaching him how to swim, but he's also learning life skills and gaining confidence and friendships at our Y summer camps. Next, I will invite a huge advocate and supporter of the Y to the stage. Tampa Mayor Bob Buckhorn has been instrumental in helping move this project along through our partnership with the City of Tampa, including its generous funding in the newly renovated parking lot. So please join me in welcoming the great Mayor of Tampa, Bob Buckhorn.
As you can imagine, I attend a lot of groundbreakings. And a great community is more than just about bricks and mortar. You know, it's more than just about you know, the amazing skyline that is changing in our downtown Tampa right now. It's more than, you know, some of the incredible projects that we've announced. It's quality of life issues. And what we are doing here today is a quality of life issue, but equally as important, it potentially is a life-saving issue. You know, and but for the generosity of this amazing family, Liz and David, to all of the grandkids. Now, one of my daughters started out with Alex. I want you three young men stand up. These are some of the grandkids. Now, see these three? None of them are allowed to date my daughters. I'm just telling you, right now, it's on the record. You go near them, especially you, Alex. You go near them, you're dead. Tampa Police Department will tase you. Sit down. Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, sir. But this wouldn't have happened without the Kennedys. And I got to tell you a story, because I see Liz and David in places that most of you would never travel. When I'm out there in Sulphur Springs, in the middle of the highest crime area in this community, and in the midst of neighborhoods that are ravaged by drugs and gangs and guns and violence, who do I see? I see TPD, and I see the Kennedys. This family is making a difference every day in the quality of life of people that you don't know, that they don't know, that don't associate with us necessarily, but who are entitled to the same quality of life as the rest of us enjoy. And the Kennedys make that happen for a lot of people, and they don't ask anything in return other than the opportunity to keep giving. And that's what they are doing here. They're giving to this community because they believe that it's more than just about them. It's about us. And understand this, teaching young people to swim. Now, I'm the parent of 2 competitive swimmers. I am a swim dad. I have sat on pool decks from here to the Keys. But teaching young people how to swim is important, particularly young people of color. Because these young children of color are dying in increasingly high rates because they don't have access to swim programs like the Y. Other than birth defects, drowning is the single highest cause of child mortality. We've got to teach our kids how to swim, particularly here in the state of Florida, and particularly in areas where there are backyard pools everywhere else. So what you're doing is important. This community is a better place because of you. You make a difference every day, and we thank you for it. Congratulations once again for recognizing that all of us have one simple moral obligation, and that is to leave the city in better shape than it was given to us. And the Kennedy family and all of the donors that have been involved in this are doing this every day, and specifically right here on Himes Avenue. Thanks, everybody, and thanks to the Y.
Thank you, Mayor Buckhorn, and thank you for all the support you've given us here at the Y. We very much appreciate it. Mayor Buckhorn talked about drowning and what a significant issue that is here in Florida and in Hillsborough County. And one of the things that the Y is doing, one of the most impactful ways that we are working to save lives is through our ISR program. ISR stands for Infant Swimming Resource. And basically what this program does is it teaches infants as young as 6 months old what they should do if they fall into a body of water. And it's absolutely amazing. And I could tell you all the wonderful videos and things I've seen about it, but I know you don't really want to hear about it from me. I think you'd much rather hear it from some of our members. And we have a family with us today, Bob and Debbie Hyde, and they have with them their 4-year-old son, Andrew. And if you could join us now, we'd love for you to share your story.
Good afternoon, and Michelle, thank you for that wonderful introduction, and thank you very much to the entire Kennedy family for giving us the opportunity to share our story about the infant swimming resource today. As some of you know, and as some of you will soon learn, the program is it's a team sport, and it takes two. It's a parent and it's a child to go through the program. So while I was a witness to these events in my household, I was not one of the primary participants in that. That was Andrew and that was Debbie. So I'd really like to have Debbie give you her perspective of what she experienced with Andrew on a daily basis in the ISR program.
Hi everybody. I'm sorry, I need notes. I'm not as good as Heather. This is Andrew. He's 4 years old. He started the ISR program when he was just about 18 months. He was a little over 18 months. And we honestly signed him up with the program before I knew anything about ISR. I just knew that it was a survival swimming program and we were desperate for something. You see, back in 2011, we would become increasingly concerned with water safety. We have 4 young children who love to swim. And at the time, we were in the process of building a home with a pool. Water safety was obviously a big issue with all of them, but we were really concerned about Andrew. He's the youngest of 4 and clearly the most fearless, especially around the water. He loved the water. Any body of water, he was not picky, but he was particularly rambunctious around a pool deck. And he was truly a force of nature to be reckoned with. He loved nothing more than jumping in the pool, despite the fact that he couldn't swim. Of course, we were always right there to pull him out and have fun with him in the pool and in the water, but he just didn't understand the danger. Needless to say, we were worried, very worried, and we did not know how we were going to manage him once we had our own pool in our backyard. We already knew about gates and alarms and all that. They offered good levels of protection around the pool, but we knew that Andrew was clever and very stubborn, and he could probably break through any of the systems we had installed. In fact, this exact thing had recently happened to a good family friend of ours. Her toddler had managed to open the door to the pool deck while she was in the house sorting laundry. She didn't hear a thing, and her daughter fell in the pool. Fortunately, her other older daughter saw what happened and screamed for her help. She was able to pull her out of the pool and she was fine, but she almost experienced any parent's worst nightmare. This story just enforced our concerns about Andrew and the water and the safety of our new home. And I know I was driving Bob crazy with my worry. So once Andrew was signed up for the program, I started to read all about ISR. I learned about the self-rescue techniques, and I watched many videos of infants rolling to float. And I was amazed, although skeptical. I mean, could a baby really save themselves? I also learned about the alarming statistics for children under 4, particularly in Hillsborough County. I was hopeful that the right program had found us at the right time. Andrew started the program 10 minutes every day for 6 weeks. It was a big commitment. I'm not going to lie, the lessons weren't always easy. In the beginning, there were some tears shed, some by Andrew, some by myself. But the positive results were almost immediate. He first started learning the roll to float technique. He didn't love it. It was hard work, but I was amazed by how quickly he perfected it. By week 3, he was already rolling to float and swimming to the side of the pool, and he just loved the swimming part. It was truly something to see. But the most amazing thing that happened was about 2 weeks after the program started. We had been invited to a pool party, and we were expecting this usual drill with Andrew, which was us running around the pool deck, chasing him. But lo and behold, Andrew did not immediately jump in the water. In fact, he was absolutely cautious around the pool deck, and he would only get in the water with one of us. It was amazing. Wow, incredible. He now seemed to know that he had to work once he got in, that we weren't going to be there. He needed to work. And he seemed to have a new respect for the water. It was the first pool party we actually enjoyed in months. Needless to say, we were sold on the IS program already. After 6 weeks, Andrew finished his ISR lessons. By the last session, he was 100% confident, we were 100% confident in Andrew's ability to save himself in the event he accidentally fell in the pool. This doesn't mean we didn't have to watch him. Children always have to be supervised around the water. But the peace of mind we were giving through the ISR program was a great gift from the YMCA, and we are forever grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Debbie and Bob and Andrew. We really appreciate you sharing your story with us today and your experience with the ISR program. And we are so excited about the new Carroll Kennedy Aquatic Center, and we'll have all these new resources and abilities to bring this program to so many more people. So that's one of the great things we're going to be able to do thanks to our new Carroll Kennedy Aquatic Center. Next, I'd like to welcome another city leader that we have with us today who really played an instrumental role in making the Carroll Kennedy Aquatic Center a reality for us. Please welcome Tampa City Councilman Harry Cohen to the stage.
Well, good afternoon on this beautiful Friday in Tampa. Before I begin, I would like to also thank the Kennedy family and the YMCA for everything that you do for our community. This project is truly a testament to the vision and spirit of cooperation that make Tampa such a wonderful place, and our community is very, very grateful. Our society is looking for ways to stay active. The demand for bike lanes and trails is certainly on the rise, in large part due to our collective desire to fight the obesity epidemic and encourage people not to be sedentary. In this climate, nothing beats a swimming pool, unless it is 3 swimming pools. Whether it is for exercise or therapy or just for fun, swimming is enjoyable and it is good for you. And thanks to so many good people in the audience today, it is that much more accessible. One of the things I am proudest of over the last 4 years is that even in recessionary times and austerity budgets, your mayor and your city council found a way to invest in city pools. This facility, the Carroll Kennedy Aquatic Center, will add immeasurably to the opportunities that our citizens have to enjoy swimming. As the mayor said earlier, this directly affects our quality of life in our city, and thousands will enjoy their time here in the year to come. I'm very grateful to you for having me today, very grateful to the Kennedy family, and I can't wait to come back in May to open the pool, and I promised on Davis Island not to wear a bathing suit then. I promise not to do it in May either.
Thank you, Councilman Cohen, and we are very grateful for everything you did for us to bring us to this day. Now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you all Tom Louie, our President and our CEO of the Tampa Y.
Good afternoon. I've had to do this about 3 times already today at a Y meeting. Good afternoon. All right, that's a lot better. As I was greeting people that came in, just about everybody said, what a beautiful day. And I think just somehow somebody was looking out, because everybody also said this morning I was nervous. And I was over in Orlando this morning, so I didn't see that. But what a beautiful day for groundbreaking. I think today is a very special groundbreaking. And I emphasize very. And you would make the case, and the mayor would know better than I, that all groundbreakings are special. They represent growth, progress, and opportunity. And in this case, the opportunity to expand services to the South Tampa community, to strengthen families, to impact lives, and in some cases, as you've heard, save lives. But today's groundbreaking, I think, is very special because the name this new aquatic center will carry, and the day of this groundbreaking, which I understand is Carroll Kennedy's birthday, or is Carroll Kennedy's birthday. So we are just so honored that the Kennedys have allowed us to put Carroll Kennedy's name on this beautiful new aquatic center. As mentioned by others, the Kennedy family is well known to many here in Tampa. Some might say an invaluable asset to and an advocate for the residents here in the Tampa Bay community, particularly those who are our most vulnerable residents. As evidence of this, David and Liz were honored earlier this year as community heroes by the Tampa Bay Lightning. For years, they have been dear friends, supporters, and leaders for the Tampa YMCA, and we're just so pleased to have this groundbreaking and you and your family with us today. For nearly 40 years, the Kennedy family has shown an unwavering commitment to giving back to their community with their generous support, leadership, and involvement with the Tampa Y and many other community strengthening organizations. David sits on our governance board, is perhaps our longest serving governance board. I don't know if we keep records like that, but if nobody disputes it, we'll claim it. He's a former board chair. He played an instrumental role in several of our capital campaigns over the last 30 years, including helping build the South Tampa YMCA, the Central City YMCA, and even today, our new Y on Big Bend Road in southern Hillsborough County. But David's story with the Y started long before that. David actually grew up in the Tampa Y. He learned to swim at the old downtown Y on Zack Street. David later was on the swim team at Plant High and even received a swimming scholarship to go to college at Princeton University, where he became an All-American. To this day, David is still swimming in master's programs. Who would have ever thought that first swim lesson at the Y would result in a college scholarship, an All-American swimmer, and a lifelong passion for the sport? And I've heard David tell this story a couple of times. It really put him on a path to success in his life. But that's what we do here at the Y. We help kids find a path to success. Today, the Kennedys are paying it forward as their generosity helps the Y teach more kids to swim, to save more lives, especially those at-risk kids from vulnerable pocket neighborhoods of South Tampa and other parts of the city, as you've heard, Sulphur Springs. I can't speak about the Kennedys without mentioning Liz Kennedy. Liz spearheaded and supported several of the Y's life-changing initiatives. Most recently, Liz played an integral role in the creation of the Y's Neighborhood of Promise in Sulphur Springs. That initiative birthed the Community Learning Center at Sulphur Springs Elementary School and Layla's House, an early childhood learning center. The Neighborhood of Promise continues to grow and evolve today into a full community development initiative involving multiple nonprofit organizations, the school system, City of Tampa, and many others too numerous to mention, all again aimed at helping a child find their pathway to success, this time by closing the academic achievement gap so many kids from low-income neighborhoods face. It was Liz who first helped create the vision for the Neighborhood of Promise. I remember some of those meetings. She has given volunteer hours, and I'm going to venture to say too many to count, even bother to count. You just can't imagine how many hours, and today remains a champion for the youth and families of Sulphur Springs, among many community initiatives benefiting from her personal touch. David, Liz, and the entire Kennedy family exemplified the true spirit of the Y, and all of us at the Tampa Y are incredibly grateful to them for their generosity, for their generously giving of their time, energy, and support to programs and services that improve the quality of life for so many. So again, a heartfelt and richly deserved thank you to the Kennedy family for their lasting impact on so many. And I don't think it would be a stretch to include in that so many of you who have benefited and seen their fine example, have been inspired by their fine example, and continue to be inspired by that example to give back and support the community in many, many ways, including the Carroll Kennedy Aquatic Center. Thanks to all who are helping make this day and this beautiful new facility possible. I think it was mentioned earlier, I'm going to mention it again. We have some very generous, significant donors that are helping make this project possible, including the Frank E. Duckwall Foundation, Celia and Jim Furman, Fred Franklin, who is here today, and one of our governance board members. Thank you, Fred. Betty and Richard Jenkins, the Joy McCann Culver House, and the L.V. Thompson Family Foundation, who I think is also here today. Thank you. Now I'd like to invite up Adam Klutz. Adam is our Y's Chief Operating Officer, and some of you know, prior to serving in that role, he was the Executive Director of the South Tampa Y. He has also put in incredible hours bringing this project to reality. He's worked tirelessly. My guess is he's both excited and a little relieved that we have gotten it to this point. But it's fun to finally turn some dirt and see the realization of a dream. Adam Klutz.
Quite as tall as Tom, so I need to adjust the microphone. I have the distinct honor to introduce our capital campaign chairperson today, Jay Kennedy. I met Jay about 5 years ago, and upon meeting Jay, he immediately started to share his energy and his excitement and his enthusiasm for the future of the South Tampa Y, specifically the aquatics complex. After I got to know Jay a little bit more, we started discussing the unbelievable, horrible statistic that Hillsborough County regularly leads the nation in drowning of kids under the age of 4 by accidental death due to drowning. And I think that was one of the passions that drove him to get this project underway. We talked about legacy of the Kennedy family, and Jay is continuing that today. I was very touched to hear that all 3 boys, you guys stand up again one more time? Joseph was like looking at me like, really? They all made their own personal pledge financially out of their own wallets to this campaign. And talking about the Kennedy legacy, I think that speaks for itself right there. So thank you guys. What a life lesson of giving back to the community and being part of something bigger than individuals, and I think that is the Kennedy legacy, if I could sum it up. So I appreciate that and all the family. It's been an honor. I appreciate calling Jay a friend, a good friend. It's been an honor to serve next to him as we went through this whole process, and I'd like to invite Jay up to say a few words. Thank you, Jay.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks for the intro. I'm not sure I deserve all that, but I appreciate it. I'm Jay Kennedy. I'm up here as the chair of the Capital Campaign Committee and also representing my family that you've heard so much about today. Probably because I'm the only one that'd be up here talking about this without crying, right? No promises yet, though. First and foremost, there are a lot of people. It's not just the stories of Walter and Andrew that got us here today, although that is one of the largest motivators for everybody and makes my job easy as trying to get everybody to give money for the Y. But I want to specifically thank several people that made today possible, and that's Karen and Bob Busing, Deborah and Guy King. I think I saw them out here earlier. The Lowry Murphy Family Foundation and Tampa General Hospital, David and Linda Ward, and of course our good friends Paul and Gail Whiting, and Gina and Bill Jung, and of course my sisters Barbara, Kristen, Aaron, and all of your families. The entire board of the South Tampa Y, and of course my Capital Campaign Committee. I'd be remiss if I didn't at least end up my thank yous here with talking about somebody that not only gave a significant donation to the campaign, but really has worked tirelessly throughout all the phases since he came to the Y in 2010. Despite having zero real estate experience or construction project management, he accepted this challenge and has done a wonderful job. Thank you. If we'd all just thank Adam Klutz. Thank you very much. It really has been a pleasure working with you, and the Y is very lucky to have you. Like many campaigns, this one began over 10 years ago in the boardroom behind me at the South Tampa YMCA. It was really more of a discussion between Joe Mangione, I think I saw him here today, Al Colby, I saw you here today too, Sean Stewart and myself when we were back when we were on the board. I think Joe pointed out it was 2002. I think that's right. And you know, that's where things like this start. But it officially kicked off in 2009 when I began researching the property we're standing on right now. And I got to tell you, it meant a lot to me when I began researching it. And I read the original lease that was signed back in 1982 by the city of Tampa and the then mayor Bob Martinez. I came to find out later as I was reading through the doc that it was also signed by my dad, David Kennedy. David was the chairman of the committee tasked with securing this property for the YMCA, and I was happy to follow in his footsteps. and join Adam and Tom in working with the city to bring this project to fruition. Many meetings later culminated with a lease signed by Mayor Buckhorn. Thank you very much, Mayor Buckhorn. That brought us here today. I speak for my entire family when I say we're honored to have been a part of this campaign. Mom and Dad, if you start crying, they're going to make me start crying. I'm going to start over. I speak for my entire family when I say that we were truly honored to be a part of this capital campaign, to have the opportunity to work on a project and have Carol's name associated with an organization dedicated to the children and families of this community is very special to all of us. Carol Elizabeth Kennedy was born on this day, November 14th in 1966. She excelled in sports, winning 2 Little League World Series titles as a pitcher and shortstop for the Tampa Bay Little League. She was also an excellent student, and she had committed to attend Princeton University in the fall of 1984 before she was tragically killed in an automobile accident that year. This year marks the 30th anniversary of her passing, and typically today is a solemn one for my family and me. Thanks, Mom. It's a day where we remember Carol, and we attempt to keep her memory alive by telling her stories to our children. To me, today will be one more good memory to share with them and continue Carol's legacy. Some of you here today remember my sister, and it's my family's hope that her generous and competitive spirit will live on in the lives of the children and families of the South Tampa YMCA. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay, and thank you to you and your entire family for all your support of the Y, for your support of this community, and we feel truly lucky to be part of this this way of remembering and really the Carol Kennedy Aquatic Center will be a way for us all to share our story. So thank you. So we've come to the end of our program. I can't believe it. We've all had this day penciled on our calendar for a very long time. I've been very excited for this day. And so we're at the point now where it's time to break ground. So we're going to wrap up. We're going to go over. There's some shovels in the back, and we'll take some pictures for the dedication and ribbon cutting ceremony. That will take place next summer. So we're going to fast forward. We're right here with the shovels, and you're going to blink your eyes, and we're all going to be sitting here next summer to open this facility and really help out our community. There are conceptual drawings around the tent. We encourage you to come take a look at that so you can see what it looks like and get excited and join us back here in the summer for our 3 new pools, our water park, our warm water therapy pool, our lap pool, and this is just the beginning. We have other great plans for the South Tampa Y, including expanding and modernizing the entire facility that you see behind us. So thank you all so much for attending and being here with us today and with the Kennedys to celebrate this really great occasion. And thank you to Mayor Buckhorn and to Councilman Cohen for being here with us, the entire Kennedy family, Tom, Adam, Rob, and all of our board members, supporters, volunteers, and contributors to this incredible new Carol Kennedy Aquatic Center. Thank you.